Unit 5.11, we do practice. Ozone in the Earth's atmosphere serves to protect us from potentially harmful UV rays from the sun. The following elementary steps describe one way that ozone is broken down in the upper atmosphere, creating a hole in the ozone layer. For part A, write the overall reaction. For B, identify the catalyst. And for C, identify the intermediates. So let's start with part A, writing the overall reaction. So let's rewrite these steps a little bit bigger so we can work with them a little easier. And now we're going to cancel out all of our duplicates. So every species that exists on both the reactant and the product side. So when we do this, we get NO is on our reactant side in step 1 and our product side in step 2. So that's going to cancel. And then we also have NO2, which is on the product side in step 1 and the reactant side in step 2. So that's going to cancel as well. And those are the only two species that are on both sides. So when we rewrite this reaction, we get the overall reaction. So combining what's left over from step 1 and step 2, we get an overall reaction of O3 gas plus O gas yields 2O2 gas. For part B, they ask us to identify the catalyst. So the catalyst is something that is added to the reaction to speed up the reaction rate. So we're going to find it in the original reactants, but it's not going to be consumed during the reaction. It may disappear, but eventually along the line it will be regenerated. So we're looking for something that is both in the initial reactants and the final products. And so in this case, our NO fits the bill. So our NO is right here in step 1 in our initial reactants and here in step 2 in our final products. So NO is going to be our catalyst for this reaction. Finally, part C asks us to identify the intermediates. So our intermediates are going to be those species that are produced and then consumed. So they're going to show up as products first and then as reactants in a subsequent step. So the difference between catalysts and intermediates is that catalysts show up as original reactants and final products, whereas intermediates are going to show up as products first and then reactants. So looking at these two steps, our intermediates are going to be NO2, which shows up here in the products of step 1 and then again in the reactants for step 2. And that is it. Those are the only intermediates. NO2 is the only thing that shows up as a product and then as a reactant in a subsequent step. So for this reaction mechanism, NO2 is going to be our only intermediate.